if you're a baseball player who just got cut from their high school team, whether you're an underclassman or if you're a parent of a player who just had their son get cut from the team, look, this is a common thing that happens all across the country. Your kid is not alone in this. Doesn't mean that now is the time to give up. Now is the time actually to double down on developing their body, their athleticism, their strength, their power, their arm. Really, the 5 tools is where guys need to be focusing on developing as a baseball player. That's their hit tool, hit for average, hit for power, their speed tool, their glove tool, and their arm tool. And now is the best time for guys to really be working on that, because you don't have to worry about the stress of the regular season for the school. You can devote 100% of your time and your attention to your body. So for all those guys out there who just missed the team, I wanted to make this video to share a bunch of different training exercises and drills that you can start putting into your routine right now that are going to help you take that next step to hopefully help you make the team come back around into the fall or into next spring. But hopefully you guys are still going to be practicing with some other team outside of this to keep getting your reps in defensively, hitting wise, throwing wise, and obviously into the summer. But now, if you're not taking care of your body, if you're not adding more muscle, adding more size, taking the nutrition part seriously, developing your mental game, improving your baseball IQ, then you're just going to be spinning your wheels, because all this hard work that you say that you're doing by spending all this time doing the stuff that you've probably already been doing obviously wasn't enough to cut it. So now let's try to mix it up and let's try some new things into your routine. So I'm going to take you guys through a bunch of different exercises and drills, try them out, let me know how they work. And if you guys are interested in more stuff like this, I'm putting together a high school redemption program to help guys get ready for the summer ball, get ready for the upcoming fall season, so that they're not missing a beat and they can bridge that gap from being cut to making the team. And really, as a big middle game guy, not even just making the team, the goal should be to be the number 1 guy on whatever that first team that you can make is. That's your mindset, regardless of the fact that you just got cut. All right, so let's dive into the clips.
All right, so these are going to go pretty quick, but we're going to start off with all these different throwing drills. So it doesn't matter what position you play on the diamond. In this game, you need to have a good arm if you want to have a future. It's one of the most important tools of the 5 tools in baseball. So all of these different drills here, and you guys can go back and pause and watch through some of these, and check out my content on YouTube or here on Facebook and Instagram. I've got kind of deeper dive videos on all of these. But what we're trying to do here, and this is my boy Hayden. He is a high school player over at Forney High School, a great baseball program over there. And I'm excited to see what the season is holding for him. He's on track to be on make the varsity team over there. He's also a basketball player, so he's going through all of that. Got a great arm, great athletic body and throwing motion, and great pitcher, great third baseman. And we're just working on being athletic, using the body as much as possible, spin turns, back pedals, all different kinds of throws. That's really, translate over to just being an athletic baseball player, having an athletic arm, not even worrying so much about technique, working different arm slots, working lots of different spin turns, different positions. And these translate over whether you're a pitcher, whether you're an outfielder, does not matter. So the next series, this is going to be the juggling routine. So this is super important for a variety of reasons. And I've got my boy David down here. He's a freshman over at Van Alstyne, looking to make varsity as a freshman catcher, stud catcher. And, just going through a little bit of growing pains with this single leg balance version, but he is a stud with the juggling. And this juggling is going to do so many amazing things for players, their hand-eye coordination, improving their vision, their reflexes, their reaction time. Everybody talks about footwork in baseball, but what about the handwork? Learning how to juggle is going to be huge. Now, this is David's been juggling for quite some time, and this is the normal juggling that he just got down pat. And I'm testing him. I'm, giving him some advanced stuff, deep in the lunge position, doing some different pushes, challenging his balance, really kind of working some different things here. But players just learning the 3-ball juggle in place is going to be huge. Now, shout out to my boy Nate Trotsky, and I believe this is his nephew Jabin, who is over at San Jose State. This is one of Nate Trotsky's older videos. This is the wall ball drill. that he's made very famous in training, the best infielders in the country. I just saw a post today where he had Bobby Witt Jr. and a bunch of other pro guys coming out. But this wall ball drill is another one that is just going to develop elite hands, elite reaction, just become an overall amazing baseball player. Now, let's take a look into some mobility exercises. So, hip mobility is absolutely crucial here for baseball players, and too many guys don't spend enough time on this. So, here I am taking a young stud catcher here named Brooks going through a hip mobility routine. He's got very tight hips, which I would say probably the vast majority, if not nearly every baseball player out there, especially high school guys, going to have tight hips. So here's a quick hip mobility routine that you guys can go through to really loosen those up. Obviously, you're going to do these on both sides, but learning how to move the hips, get buttery, mobile, flexible hips is going to be an absolute game changer for you. It's going to improve your velocity. You're going to run faster. You're going to throw harder. You're going to hit better. When guys don't move properly, especially from their hips, this is where all those compensations happen. Flying open, the barrel dropping, casting, getting around the ball, all different kinds of stuff like that. So this routine here is a PVC fast twitch series that I'm going to take you guys through. This is really getting your nervous system fired up. Fast twitch. This is one of the training videos that I have on the back end for my clients. So I'm voicing over the actual video. Here comes the actual drills that you're going to do. These are just short, quick steps. You're going to do both sides, swinging as fast as you can. This PVC pipe is a shorter one. You can go with a longer one, but you want to be as fast and explosive as possible. So the next one is in place, step right back, okay? So you're going to do both lefty and righty. It's always awkward on the non-dominant side, but you've got to do both sides. Learn how to rotate fast and getting action going from both sides. So this next one is a half swing, stop deceleration swing. You're just going to take a full hard swing, max effort, but stop it just past contact right as you're straightening out, okay? That half part of that swing. All right. So next one, this one is a fast recoil, full hard swing, and then bring it hard back. All right. So take those, implement those in your warm-up routine, but also into your everyday training as well. So now I'm going to take you guys through some different exercises. The sled is king. It's an amazing exercise. We're pulling from the side, both sides. We're doing sled pushes. We're doing sled pulls. Back to David here, crushing it with these double farmer walks right here, or these waiter walks in this upright position here. Really challenge the core and the shoulders. Really learning to use those obliques, get the rotator strong, get your stabilizer strong. Getting into the core is going to be huge for you guys. Okay, get off of the bench press and the squat stuff. Learn to build up your core and get everything else strong around it. We obviously got to do both sides whenever we're doing these. We're not just doing one side here. Okay, not everybody's going to have this machine, but this exercise is an absolute game changer for the posterior chain, for your hamstrings, for your low back, for your glutes. Those are called reverse hypers. All right, so back to Brooks over here. He's just learning this side lunge. This is a landmine side lunge move. So his technique is coming around with this for sure, but learning how to get into the side, into the lunge position, side lunge position is great for baseball players. All right, bear crawls. These are another amazing exercise for so many different reasons. And another great exercise that I really love for baseball players. These are called Turkish get-ups. Now, this is a very complex and complicated move. I do have a step-by-step breakdown of how to do this complete exercise. So the technique is super important. There's about 9 or 10 checkpoints on this exercise for guys to really hit. If you really want to get a deep dive breakdown on that, send me a message. I will send you over the whole video on walking you through the technique on this so you get this right. But this is a catch-all. It's going to hit your core. It's going to hit your shoulders, your stabilizer muscles, the legs, your glutes. It's hitting everything that baseball players need to be strong and to dominate for their sport. So Turkish get-ups are huge. Single leg lunges here, okay, really working just balance. He's got the BFR bands, these are the blood flow restriction bands on. He's an advanced player. He was at the time semi-pro, or not semi-pro. He was a minor league player, for the Rays. Kayvon, KV, what's up, brother? So another great exercise, doing advanced stuff with the blood flow restriction training, but just for guys learning how to stabilize and balance on that single leg is huge. So now we're going to go through a bunch of different sprint routines. Now sprinting is huge. Out of these, David just slips a little bit. That happens as you're learning some of this stuff, learning the footwork, etc. But speed, we've got to have getting good out of the blocks and your acceleration speed. So these are different drills to work on your acceleration and being fast, being explosive, just getting the body to react and learn things quickly. I'm giving him a go call on these. He's in the ready position. He's waiting for my call. Then he reacts and he goes as quick as he can. So there's a lot of different ways to play with these starting positions. I call this the starting speed sprint series. All different kinds of positions. Just get up and go on your back, on your sides, in a side lunge position like this. Shout out to Kevin Dye over at Alito High School. He's another guy who just made his high school team as a freshman. Love it. Absolutely love seeing these guys succeeding. Now we're going to transition over into some arm care exercises. Like we talked about with the throw inside, the arm is one of your most valuable assets as a player. Keeping your arm strong, healthy, and fresh is one of the best ways to make sure that you have a long and successful career. So this is the A, T, and Y series with a very light weight here. This is starting out probably about 12 ounces for David. We started out a little bit stronger. These are the A's. The one right before this was the T's. So he was going thumbs up in that position. We also have turning the thumbs down. So we're in both positions there. And one of the things I correct David on in this position in a moment is that head is kind of tilted up and back. Want to get a long back of the neck, so a good chin tuck position. And he's really focused on keeping those scap squeeze, engaging his lats as he's controlling this movement. Now here comes the Y position. I prefer most guys, especially the ones who are just getting started, to go with an incline versus being flat on the table. And this one, we went up in weight a little bit. I think this is about 2 pounds here. Most guys only need to be about 1, 2, maybe 3 pounds, 5 on the high end for those kinds of exercises. And then this last one here is just a great kind of T to external rotation, cross position to build up some more upper back and shoulder and rotator cuff strength.
All right, so I hope you guys got some really good exercises out of that routine, some new things that you can try and start to add in to your son's routine, or players, if you're the ones watching this, hopefully you are, that you guys can start to add this into your own routine. Now, naturally, a lot of that training was built around training up the body, like I mentioned at the beginning of the call. So obviously there's a ton on the defensive side, a ton on the hitting side, a ton on the pitching technique and some of that side of things that you guys probably need to work on. But chances are, if you got cut from your high school team, you were either too small, too weak, too skinny, not fast enough, not big enough, not strong enough, not throwing hard enough, all of those kinds of things. And that starts, number one, with developing your body, taking care of your body, because your body is your number one asset. Think about it like this, guys. If you were told that you only had one car to drive for the rest of your life, how well would you take care of that car? Chances are that would be the most important thing in your life. You would be taking care of that thing. You would hand wash it every single day. You would give it the best fuel, oil changes every single week, like nobody else could sit in it but you. Like, you would take amazing care of that thing, right? That is what your body is. You only get one body. And if you're not treating your body right, if you're not building up your body to be strong, powerful, athletic, all of these kinds of things, then you're going to get left behind by all the other guys who are taking that stuff seriously. Okay. And baseball is a sport that demands you to be in amazing physical shape because it is a grueling season. Tons of guys say that they want to play pro baseball. But what they don't realize is that pro baseball is 162 games and 180 days. That's just the regular season. That's not counting the 20-25 games in the spring training and another 12-15 games or more into the postseason. That's basically a 200 game season that most guys can barely handle playing their weekly travel ball schedule and not being extremely sore or tired after all that work. So the more you take care of your body, you build it up, you strengthen it, you make it more powerful, fast, explosive, all that side of things, the technique is going to take care of itself. I've worked at one of the best golf performance training facilities in the country. And one of the awesome things that I loved about working with those guys is that they had a lot of data that was taking guys who would go through their training program and build up their club head speed to where they're, gaining 10, 15, maybe 20 miles an hour in their club head speed or in their ball flight, different things like that. And they would have to go and change their clubs. They would have to go get new lessons with a swing coach because their mechanics change because of how much their mobility improved, their strength, their core, all that side of things. Baseball is so much like golf, and especially in that way, when you develop faster bat speed, when you're throwing harder, all these kinds of things, you're going to need different mechanics than what you currently need now. So a lot of guys get caught up in the weekly lessons. I got to get my hitting coach, I got to have my pitching coach, my infield coach, my catching coach, and you're just caught up on the lessons and the technique. And I get it, it's the baseball, it's the focus, and that is the game. You have to play the game, you have to execute the game, and you see a lot of guys working on their technique with, college and pro guys working on their technique, having great technique, all this stuff, and you need to have that. But at these younger ages, I'm telling you, it's more important to be an absolute dog, a competitor, a beast of an athlete on the field who has raw talent and can get away with not having great mechanics than it is a guy who is undersized, he's weak, he's skinny, and has like perfect technique. And that was me back in the day. I didn't have perfect technique as a pitcher. I was kind of a funky guy, but I graduated high school 6'3", about 170, 175 pounds. Fast forward to going into the fall season of my sophomore year in college, I jumped up to 235. I gained about 30 pounds. That summer alone, by just crushing it with my nutrition and getting after it in the gym. Now, that ended up being a little bit of bulky weight, a little bit of fat added on there. So naturally, you guys probably don't want to get overly done like that, but it is possible for you to get to the right size that's fit for you, that's going to help you play at your best. Okay, so hopefully you guys got a lot out of that video. And really what I'd like to ask you guys before I just go and make this, big, incredible, amazing program, something I think is absolutely incredible, just shoot me a message or leave me a comment, if this is something that would be useful for you guys. If I put together a DIY, do it by yourself training program that's going to cover all of the hitting drills and strategies, like hitting routines that you can go through, from the throwing program and the arm care to a workout routine, to even adding in like guided meditations and visualizations to help get your mind right so you can have elite monk-like focus and have unshakable confidence. Those are a couple huge pieces to help guys do that. Naturally, one of the big things with confidence is knowing without a shadow of a doubt, because you have a huge book of evidence that supports you being a badass player, because you can do all these things on the field. Well, right now, if you just got cut from your team, you don't have that kind of confidence. So being able to peer into the future and start to look at what's possible for you, your mind doesn't know the difference between thinking about something in the past or thinking about something in the future as them being not present with you right now. Great example of this is, how many of you have ever watched a horror movie before? And when you're watching that horror movie, your heart rate starts jumping a little bit. You might jump whenever the bad guy comes out and scares somebody or kills them or whatever, right? Your mind is perceiving that as a threat. Your body is perceiving that as a threat. Even though you're completely safe in the room, nobody's there to hurt you, your body still reacts to it that way. Vice versa, when you start visualizing yourself, seeing yourself succeeding, putting yourself into the future and being the player that is successful, that is stronger, that has the body that you want, that has the swing that you want, that has the pitching, the velocity, all that stuff that you want. When you can see it in your mind, your brain does not know the difference between you not having it currently and it actually thinks that you have it. So the visualization is a huge piece of that. I'll show you guys how to do that if that's a piece that you guys even want as a part of this program. So shoot me a message. I'll get you guys a complete, basically A to Z DIY training program to help you guys get ready for the summer season, to keep crushing it with your training and help you make the team next season. All right, so if that's something that's of interest to you guys, comment down below on this video or shoot me a message. Happy to put together that for a select handful of players for free. I'm not going to be able to do that for every single person that reaches out, because that is actually a lot of work, and I do want to be able to personalize this for you guys, but I am willing to do this for a small handful of players for free. And then if some other people are seriously interested in this kind of DIY training, you know, we can talk about what it might look like for you guys to get access to something like that as well. All right, but use the drills, use the exercises and things in this video that I shared with you already, and check out a lot of my other content. You guys can kind of piece some things together in the meantime. All right, we'll talk to you later. Make it a great rest of your day.